Hello and welcome back to another week here at Knack kitchen, where today we are making Besan Laddoos. Besan Laddoos are crowd favorites. If you've tried them, I'm sure you love them. And if you haven't, then you really need to try this recipe because A, it's super easy, B, it only requires 4 ingredients, and C, within 90 minutes, with very little work, you're going to end up with the most amazing laddoos right at your disposal. And with all that being said, let's just dive into this video and see how we make it. So the first step is to dry roast our besan, and for that I have a saucepan on medium-low heat, and we're just going to put all of our besan in at once, and we're going to stir it around for about 15 minutes or until the besan starts to turn fragrant. Now I'm just going to point out a couple of things here. Firstly, you need to stand there for the entire 15 minutes. Do not leave the besan unattended under any circumstance. Your besan will burn before you even know it. So keep stirring for the entire 15 minutes. Secondly, you need to roast the besan for 15 minutes. Do not cut on the time because under roasted besan just does not have the same flavor, and a perfect laddu really depends on perfectly roasted besan. You may want to use a timer, and that's perfectly fine. And finally, if you notice some lumps when you're stirring your besan, do not panic. It's going to work out perfectly once you add the ghee. And right on cue, we're going to go ahead and add our ghee, and you'll notice that the besan will start to dissolve into the ghee and we'll be left with a very smooth paste. Once you've incorporated all of your besan into the ghee, you're going to go ahead and cook this for another 15 to 20 minutes. And the way that you know that your besan is done is when it starts to release its oils, and we're going to see in just about a minute what it looks like. That being said, while you're stirring your besan, you might notice that your mixture turns a little too dry and grainy and lumpy, but that's fine. You just have to keep stirring it, and eventually you will reach the stage when the besan releases its own oils, which is basically the ghee which starts to come on top. As you can notice over here, the moment I leave the mixture even for 2 seconds, the ghee starts to come right on top. It almost looks like water on the surface, and that's your cue that your besan is cooked to perfection. So I'm just going to very quickly remove the pan from the heat, and we are going to add the sugar and cardamom powder right away. I like to add my sugar directly to the hot mixture so as to ensure that the sugar dissolves completely and our end product is a velvety smooth laddu. You can let the mixture cool down first and then add your sugar, but you'll just end up with a grainier laddu. That being said, if you don't have super fine sugar or if you don't have cardamom powder, you can just use a mixer grinder and add your regular white sugar and a couple of cardamom pods, and that will do the job just as well. So we are quickly stirring this all together into a smooth paste, and then we're going to let this paste come to room temperature, which can take anywhere between 20 to 30 minutes. So as you can see, the edges of our mixture have already started to set, and at this point I like to divide my mixture into my laddoos, and then I like to do the final shaping a little later. So at this point we are only going to divide the mixture into 9 to 10 equal sized laddoos. If you're going for a smaller size, then you can get even up to 15 medium sized laddoos. So at this point, as you can see, I'm not making a perfect sphere. I'm only dividing the mixture and setting them aside. So once we've shaped all of the laddoos, at least vaguely, we're going to set this aside for 40 minutes, and whatever's left in the pan is for me to nibble on. It's so delicious. And after 40 minutes, as you can see, I'm doing the final shaping and now my ladoos are a whole lot more spherical. They're still not perfect and that's okay, they're gonna taste amazing. If you're good at making ladoos, I'm sure you'll end up with the better looking shape as well. But as far as flavor is concerned, this is absolutely heavenly. And you just have to try it to believe it. It's definitely gonna be well worth the effort. And there you have it, my recipe for the most amazing homemade besan laddu. It tastes absolutely divine, requires very little effort, and it's absolutely amazing. I really hope that you give this recipe a try, and if you enjoyed this video then please do give a like, do share and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, thank you so very much for watching, and I'm gonna see you next week.